This is Rob McLaren, the Vicar of Holmes Chapel, and I've been given Pentecost Eve. It's a bit like Christmas Eve, a bit like Maundy Thursday, the day before the big event, the big festival, because Pentecost is one of the three big festivals. But Pentecost Eve was a bit different. There was no dramatic last-minute dash for a maternity bed. There was no moving last meal between friends. There was, just another day of lockdown. Jesus had told his followers to wait. Wait in, stay in, wait for the promised gift of the Holy Spirit. And so that's what they were doing. It was another day of lockdown. But the next day was not just another day. The description of what happened. There was a wind, a strong wind, and we know if we read the Bible that wind means breath, means spirit. So this was the breath of God. This was the gift of the Holy Spirit. This was the change, the life-transforming change for those first disciples and all who followed them, because of the gift of the Holy Spirit. And not only the wind, but the tongues of fire which rested on them in that house. Tongues, what's that about? Well, it's about speaking, because the gift of the Holy Spirit was given in order that we might tell. Tell what? Well, those first hearers were amazed and delighted because they heard the wonders of God told in their own language. The wonders of God, that's what the Holy Spirit calls us to tell. If we ever wondering what's a spiritual message, what's the Holy Spirit want us to say? Well, it's to speak about the wonders of God, the wonderful things that Jesus has done for us, the wonderful things that God has done from first to last. They are the spiritual message. That's spiritual preaching. And one more thing. That message was written in was spoken in their own mother tongue. I'm always struck that it would have been very possible and straightforward and expected for those first disciples to stand up boldly in the power of the Spirit in Jerusalem on that first day of Pentecost and speak in Greek. Because if they'd spoken in Greek, everyone in the crowd would have understood. That was the lingua franca, that was the trading language. Everyone would have understood. Oh, right, yes, message, got it, I understand. But that wasn't what God wanted. That wasn't spiritual preaching. The Holy Spirit gave them tongues of other languages, so that all those people from different nations who spoke different mother tongues could hear the wonders of God in their own mother tongue. You know, I find people are delighted if you try and speak to them in their own tongue. I'm not much good at French, but if I'm on holiday in France and I wander into a shop, I give it a go with a few words of French, and they seem all the more willing to serve me. Well, so it is with receiving the saving message of God. If people hear it in their own mother tongue, they're more likely to receive it. If we use people's heart language, then it's more likely to strike their heart, which is what the Spirit wants. That's spiritual teaching. That's from the gift of the Spirit. Pentecost Eve. A good day to think about great things. Happy Pentecost.